Ben Johnston, alive and well at age, I think he's 84 now, got very excited when he read Harry Partch's book in 1949 and wrote to him and said, "May I study with you?" And Partch said, "Absolutely not." But I need an assistant. So the young Ben Johnston traveled all the way from the Midwest to Wallala on the northern coast near Mendocino and spent a year and a bit with Partch, learning how to tune his instruments, learning about the whole system, et cetera, et cetera. As you probably know, Harry Partch, by the time he died, he built over 24 musical instruments. Fantastical. Some of them adapted. I mean, this is obviously an adapted instrument. Some of them completely full-blown from the brow of Harry, from the brow of Zeus, if you will. Ben Johnston knew that he couldn't hammer a nail straight to save his life. And he suggested that perhaps the best thing to do was to teach other instruments to play these sounds. Not spend his life trying to keep 24 creaky antique instruments together, but to spread the wealth. And in fact, he has written 10 magnificent string quartets and hours of music that use these concepts of just intonation, of pure tuning. This piece of music was written in 1998 for this, what looks like a, well, it is also an adapted guitar in a sense, but you'll notice once again, everything except the neck looks normal. This instrument was actually invented in the 1980s, or late 70s, early 80s. Each one of these individual frets can move. So I can retune this to anything I want. Just like a piano, you can do anything you want. Although a piano, you're stuck with 12 keys, I can have 30 notes per octave if I want. This particular one happens to have 15. Here's the scale. Notes per octave, all related to this note. In fact, the open strings are all one big fat A chord. E, A, C sharp, flat natural G, a ninth, and then there's that 11th again. But Ben even went further and gives us a 13th harmonic too, which sort of makes sense, right? So, what you're about to hear is a song cycle of 8 songs. The words are from Rumi. Talk about medieval poetry, right? We have medieval poetry here from China and now from the creator of Sufism, the Tavern. It's about drinking and sex. I hope you don't mind. But of course, the sex is an illusion and the drinking is a metaphor for spiritual enlightenment. So we'll find out what Rumi and Ben Johnston have to say on the subject. All day I think about it, then at night I say it. Where did I come from? And what am I supposed to be doing? I have no idea. My soul is from elsewhere, I'm sure of that, and I intend to end up there. This drunkenness began in some other tavern. When I get back around to that place, I'll be completely sober. Meanwhile, I'm like a bird from another continent, sitting in this aviary. The day is coming when I fly off. But who is it now in my words to say my love? Who looks out with my eyes? Who says words with my mouth? What is the soul? I cannot stop asking. If I could taste one sip of an answer, I could break out of this prison for drunks. I didn't come here of my own accord, and I can't leave that way. Whoever brought me here will have to take me home. This poetry, I never know what I'm going to say. I don't plan it. When I'm outside the saying of it, I get very quiet and rarely speak at all. We have a huge barrel of wine and no cups. That's fine with us. Every morning we glow and in the evening we glow again. They say there's no future for us. They're right, which is fine with us. There is a community of the spirit. Join it and feel the delight of walking in the noisy street and beating the noise. Drink all your passion and be a disgrace. Close both eyes to see with the other eye. Open your hands if you want to be held. Sit down in a circle, pretending like a wolf and feel the shepherds are feeling you. At night your beloved wanders. Don't accept consolations. Close your mouth against food. Taste the lover's mouth in yours. You moan, she left me, he left me. 20 more will come. Be empty of worrying. Think of who created thought. Why do you stay in prison when the door is so wide open? Move outside the tangle of fear thinking. Live in silence. Flow down and down and always widen it wings of being. There's a strange frenzy in my head of birds flying. Each particle circulating on its own is the one I love everywhere. Fear the police, but the police are drunk too. People in this town love them both like different chess pieces. secluded. Don't wander out on the road in your ecstasy. Sleep in the tavern when a drunk strays out to the street. Children make fun of him. He falls down in the mud. He takes any and every road. The children follow, not knowing the taste of wine or how his drunkenness feels. No one is grown up except those free of desire. God said the world is a play, a children's game, and you are the children. God speaks the truth. If you haven't left a child's play, how can you be an adult without purity of spirit? If you're still in the middle of lust and greed and other wantings, you're like children playing at sexual intercourse. They wrestle and rub together, but that's not sex. The same with the fightings of mankind. It's a squabble with clay swords. No purpose, totally futile. Like kids on hobby horses, soldiers claim to be riding Borak, Mohammed's night horse, or Dudu, his mule. Your actions mean nothing. The sex and war that you do, you're holding part of your pants and dancing around. Don't wait till you're tired to see this. Recognize that your imagination and your thinking and your sense perception are reed canes. The children cut and pretend are horses. The knowing of mystic lovers is different. The empirical sensory sciences are like a donkey loaded with books, or like the makeup women's makeup. It washes off. But if you lift the baggage rightly, it will bring joy. Don't carry your knowledge load for some selfish reason. Deny your desires and willfulness, and a real mount may appear under you. Don't be satisfied with the name of you, with just words about it. Experience that breathing with books and wisdom, fantasy, and sometimes from fantasy comes union. Gone inner and outer. No moon, no ground or sky. Don't hand me another glass of wine. Pour it in my mouth. I've lost the way to my mouth. The wine we really drink is our own blood. Our bodies ferment in these barrels. We give anything for a drink of this. We give our minds for a sip. God has given us a dark wine so potent that drinking it we leave it to God has put into the form of hashish the power to deliver the taster from self-consciousness. God has made sleep so it erases every thought. God made Majna love Layla so much that just her dog would cause confusion in him. There are thousands of wines that can take over our minds. Don't think all ecstasies are the same. Jesus was lost in his love for God. His donkey was drunk on barley. Drink from the presence of saints, not from those other jars. Every object, every being is a jar full of delights. Be a connoisseur and taste with caution. Any wine will get you high. Judge like a king and choose the purest, the one unadulterated with fear or some urgency about what's needed. Drink the wine that serves you like a camel booth when it's been untied and is just ambling about. Notice how each particle moves. Notice how everyone has just arrived here from a journey. Notice how each wants a different food. Notice how the stars vanish as the sun comes up. And how all streams stream through the ocean. Look at the chefs preparing special plates for everyone according to what they need. Look at this cup that can hold the ocean. Look at those who see the face. Look through Sham's eyes into the water that is entirely jewels. Last year I gazed at the fire. This year I'm burnt Kabob. Throw me down to the water, and I drank the moon's reflection. Now I am a lion staring up, totally lost in love with the thing itself. Don't ask questions about longing, look at my face. So drunk, body ruined. These two sit helpless in a wrecked wagon, neither knows how to fix it. And my heart, I say it was more like a donkey sunk in a muddle, struggling and moving deeper. But listen to me for one moment, quit being sad. Hear blessings dropping their blossoms around you. Is just as bad. He falls into a hole, but down in that hole he finds something shining, worth more than any amount of money or power. Last night the moon came dropping its clothes in the street. I took it as a sign to start singing, falling up into the bowl of sky. Everywhere, nothing left to do. Here's the new rule, break the wine glass and fall toward the glass blower's breath. This that is tormented and very tired, tortured with restraints like a madman, this heart. Still you keep breaking the shell to get a taste of its kernel.